Welcome. It's Saturday, May 4th, and it's the Monday Morning Show. And you'll forgive my voice. It's a little out to lunch. Excuse me. This episode is going to be called Not Hiking the PCT or No PCT in 2019, probably with a question mark. And the reason for that is I'm going to be really upfront about this, so you can leave and find something more entertaining if you so desire. If you're just here to see if I'm still hiking the PCT this year, the answer on that is big no, I'm afraid. And I'm here to explain why, because I feel terrible about this. Excuse me. And I don't just mean because I'm still, after 5-6 weeks, sick. And I want to clarify that I'm not sick. I'm not go to the hospital sick. I'm just sick enough that it's a pain in the ass, and I'm coughing, and I feel sick and dizzy, and I get short of breath. And these are things that you just don't do when you're backpacking. And in a way, that makes it worse. The idea that, that I'm not that sick, just sick enough. It's maddening, especially on this end of it, because I really want to go. This has been pretty much the best year possible to hike in Southern California. We've had plenty of rain, plenty of snow, probably too much snow, and the weather's been great. I mean, everything's been great. It's been the perfect year. Just talking about it makes me nuts. So yeah, I got sick about 5-6 weeks ago after backpacking in Chino Hills. And I talked about this on another podcast, so hope you don't mind me repeating myself. 2 weeks after I got sick, went in to see the doctor. The doctor said that my lungs were inflamed, which is just a taste of why I have so much faith in our healthcare system. And then I was prescribed a big bucket of pills, and I took those, and then I started trying to get ready to hit the trail again, and within just a few days of doing a little backpacking, I was sick again. Doing a little hiking, actually, not backpacking. But I was sick again. My symptoms came back even worse. And I went to see my doctor, and she threw a bucket of pills at me. And that really gave me a lot of faith in my doctor personally, because the first time I'd gone to an urgent care center, and I kind of figured they would be the Keystone Cops of medicine, but I kind of had a little bit more faith in my doctor. But the minute she started throwing opioids at me, I just kind of rolled my eyes and thought, oh well, I'm in this alone. So we went through all that medicine, and then my symptoms came back again. And this last time, just a couple weeks ago, my wife and I kind of decided, after all those attempts, and I was just so sick of the mountain of pills, that I would just take it easy and try to take care of myself and not push myself at all. So I've been bed/couch ridden for a while. The problem isn't, like I said, it's not a deathly illness. It's just very inconvenient because it affects my breathing. And yeah, my doctor ran a bunch of tests, and my lungs are squeaky clean, and I'm really happy about that. But there you go. Now, the good news is I am starting to feel better. My energy is starting to come back, and I can actually do things like walk my dogs, which is rather nice. But I am nowhere near ready to hike on the PCT. And after being sick for a month, I had to stop postponing my start date and realize that most of the time that I would have gone backpacking, because I was planning a 6-week trip, was just eaten up by being sick. And now that I've been sick about 6 weeks, there you go. That was all of the time that I'd put aside for backpacking. So I'm really disappointed. I've missed my year, and I really felt like this would be a good year. This was going to be a good year for me personally, regardless of the weather. Last year, I didn't feel good about it, and so I didn't go. This year, I really wanted to go, and circumstances were just beyond my control. So I just feel it's just better for our relationship, the one or two of you who are listening to this, that I just be upfront with you and tell you that odds are I'm not going to be on the trail this year at all. Now, having said that, I keep hoping. I keep thinking that if I can just get past all of this sickness and get a little healthy again, then I could start, doing day hikes and build up to being able to backpack. And if I can do all this by, say, the middle of June, maybe if the weather stays nice and if there's still water up in the mountains, maybe I could go for, maybe a week, maybe just a weekend. But, I would take a weekend. I would so take a weekend. I would take now that we're in the conjecture mode of this, and I've only been talking for 7 minutes, so I've got a few more minutes to waste. So maybe if you, with your indulgence, I'll just speculate as to what I would really like to do on the PCT, because I've had the last couple months to just ruminate on this and just think about how much I want to go out there. And if I had a weekend to go backpacking, here's what I would do. I would start in Warner Springs and go south to Scissors Crossing, and then a little further to the Stagecoach Mobile Home Park or RV Park. I don't, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's that's about 30 miles, I think. And going southbound on that route, you start off in the meadows and in the hills. You go down to Barrel Springs. You spend the night. You head up towards the third gate water cache, and it's a nice slope. It's a very pleasant hike, and spend the night at the water cache, and then go downhill. That crazy climb up from Scissors Crossing, you go down it. So it's a breeze. It's wonderful, and then you head up to Stagecoach, or I should say, and meet my wife there, have her pick me up. That would be a great weekend trip. Now, if I was going to go for a week, there would be a couple that would be fun to do. First of all, Cajon Pass to Big Bear. Cajon Pass to Big Bear would be a great hike, because you'd be going from the desert up into the woods and the forests and the mountainsides with those glorious views. And that would be, I think, maybe 5 days. So that wouldn't be too bad. Another week that I would do, if I got the chance this year, is I would take the Palm Springs tram up into San Jacinto, and I would catch the PCT from there, because I don't want to climb up from Cabazon, so screw that. But I would take the PCT down from there to Warner Springs, and maybe to Scissors Crossing and the Stagecoach trailer park, or whatever the hell it's called. Those would both be very nice hikes in Southern California. But sadly, that will all depend on if I can get better. And so far, in the last couple of months, I have not proved all that resilient. I really don't know why. This is my first really bad cold in my 50s, and maybe this is a reality of life in my 50s that I need to just get used to not, bouncing right back on my feet. My whole life, I've been able to bounce right back up on my feet again. So this has been a very strange experience. But it has taught me that I just need to accept where I am in life and accept reality and not get too hung up on what should have been. So there you go. Very possibly no PCT in 2019. And if I don't go this year, I got to tell you, if I don't go this year, I'm thinking I may not try. I may not even consider it next year and maybe the year after that. I've been looking at the Oregon Coast Trail. I think that's beautiful. And I think I'd really like to try some shorter trail. And there's a lot of shorter backpacking trails. So just know that my dream of getting out there and backpacking has not ended by a long shot, but it is changing. And I'm not saying I'm never returning to the PCT. I think I really need to get more experience under my belt, and I am working on that just as soon as I'm better. Once July 4th rolls around, I won't go hiking after that because that's when the temperatures really ramp up. But I usually pick up again after Labor Day, and sometime in September I'll start going hiking again. But because of our water situation down here in Southern California, I don't know if I'll backpack in the fall because I don't know if there'll be water. So there you go. A little insight into a Southern California backpacker and someone who's been trying to get on the PCT for a while. And if you've been following my misadventures, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I'll be back in about a week with another scripted podcast. And this is the last of the unscripted ones for a little while. So there you go. Until next time, be good to yourself, be kind to others, and let's make this world a better place.